So why am I writing this book? Well, last Christmas, my girlfriend and I were reading a popular novel by a popular artist, writer, who I normally like. This particular book I didn't think was all that great, but the central premise that the world population was overrunning its resources and that something drastic needed to be done was an interesting concept. The solution was quite drastic in the book, not one that I would put forward myself, but it got my wheels to spinning, so to speak. About the same time, a friend of mine on Facebook, Michelle, posted this one of those links to 30 questions that you must answer before you die kind of things. If you answer these questions, you might find the Holy Grail, the Golden Fleece, maybe your socks and your cigarette lighter, that kind of thing. And so normally I pass over that kind of crap, but in this particular case, for some reason, I clicked on it and I actually read the questions, and they were pretty profound ones. Like, let's see, what are you doing with your life? Basically, is it important? What can you do to help society or your community or the world in general? So I had to step back for a moment and think about that. And when I came to the conclusion that I needed to do something to help save the world. No pressure or anything, right? So that got me thinking some more. So I started reading a bunch of books about every problem you could imagine, and at the end of it, I was really depressed and ready to give up. I threw my hands up and I was like, what in the hell can we possibly do, one person or even a few people, to change the direction that the earth seems to be going, or that people at least on the earth seem to be going. So I sat down one day and I kind of blocked out all the problems of the earth, population and fossil fuels and pollution and corruption and greed and all those good, nasty, orcish things. And then I started to try to figure out how are all these things connected. I drew little lines and squiggly things and circles, and before long it was just this circly, squiggly mess that looked kind of like a Celtic knot drawn by a drunken Scotsman, which is probably not far from the truth to start with, but it was really, really confusing. And so I spent a few more days thinking about it, and eventually I think I came upon the solution to the problem. And that is at the center of the book that I'm writing, Be a Hobbit, Save the Earth. So I decided to write a book to save the earth, quote unquote. But how does one do that? Because there's lots of books about saving the earth and what one person can do, or lots of people can do, or how you can get your politicians to be, not corrupt anymore and do their job. None of which seemed to reach enough people. So then one day I hit upon, some correlations, some things that seemed to link between our world and Tolkien's world, my favorite place. Because I'm a huge Tolkien geek fan, and probably you too, or you wouldn't be watching this. And I realized, there's some real correlations here. You have, dark evil power of Sauron and Saruman, and their attempts to dominate the planet. And in our world, we have corporate greed, and which is really at the center of it, and which corrupts our politicians, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the correlations just kept coming. So then I realized, Tolkien's, there's a lot of fans out there like me who might think, hey, this is kind of cool, and would understand the concepts I'm trying to get across even better by comparing it to stuff in Tolkien and in Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. So that's why I chose to do Tolkien. Plus, he's awesome.